Good morning, everybody. My name is Phoebe Liccardo, and I'm a junior at Evanston Township High School. Thank you. On March 24th, 2018, I went to Washington, D.C. and took part in the March for Our Lives. For 3 hours, I stood watching as student after student took the stage less than a mile away from the Capitol building and poured their hearts out with stories of how gun violence has ripped apart their lives. Every story I heard broke my heart more so than the last, and just as I felt that nothing could make me more angry, more moved, or more motivated than I already was, Emma Gonzalez took the stage. Nothing that I experienced that day will stay with me more than the way that I felt in the silence of Emma Gonzalez. As I stood in the silence of Emma Gonzalez, I felt a sense of devastation, desperation, and a need to do more than I already was in that moment. In the silence of Emma Gonzalez, I felt powerful, and I felt that I could do more than I was. And I felt that change was not only possible, but essential for humanity. But more than anything, as I stood in a crowd of 500,000 people, in the 6 minutes and 20 seconds that Emma Gonzalez was on stage, I felt that I couldn't just be present anymore. Being present is important, but being present and staying silent is not something that we can survive. Gun violence can no longer be classified as a street issue or a gang issue. It isn't a drug issue, it isn't a school issue, and it isn't a mental health issue. Gun violence isn't an issue, it is an epidemic. Friends are dying, brothers are dying, sisters are dying, human beings are dying, and too many people are choosing to stay silent. It's not enough to bring attention to the epidemic of gun violence. We must bring change to the epidemic of gun violence. This past school year, I worked with fellow students to plan the ETHS walkout against gun violence. In this walkout, we were able to do more than just raise our voices against gun violence, but we were able to feel the power that we have as a student body. As I looked around at my classmates and at my friends, I was reminded of the importance of human life. And as I heard my classmates speak, I understood that continuing to ignore this issue was not an option, and that choosing to support the lives of human beings is the only option that we have left. But the greatest honor that I have experienced throughout the past few months has been working with and feeding off the passion of my fellow student activists. Once in a campaign speech, Barack Obama said, "A change is brought about because ordinary people do extraordinary things." Not only do I believe that the students that I have had the honor of working with have done extraordinary things, but I truly believe that they have inspired me and encouraged me to do extraordinary things. However, no matter how extraordinary your actions may be, no change can be brought about through silence. Future lives taken by gun violence cannot be saved by the number of prayers sent to God, but they can be saved by the number of phone calls you make to representatives. Lives taken by gun violence cannot be saved by the length of a presidential apology, but they can be saved by the length of a voter line ready to vote them out. The lives taken by gun violence cannot be saved by increasing accessibility to guns, but they can be saved by increasing how much you choose to make your voice heard. Now, I will be the first to admit that for a long time I didn't use my voice. I was present, but I was silent. My freshman and sophomore year, I was a part of student government at ETHS, but I stayed quiet and let others do what I was too afraid or too nervous or too insecure to do. It wasn't until my junior year that I was truly able to recognize the lives and the well-being of human beings is more important than my fears or insecurities will ever be. It is not about how quiet you have been in the past, but about how loud you are in the present and the impact that you choose to make on the future. Standing here before you all today is a privilege and a role that I do not take lightly. Throughout my life, I've found myself in opportunities to make change, and I understand that that has been because of my privilege as a white student growing up in Evanston, as well as my passion for creating change. As soon as I understood how much privilege I carried, I also understood the responsibility that came with it and the impact that I hope to leave on the world. So if I leave you all with anything today, let it be this. Gunshots are not silent. When they echo down the halls of a school, gunshots are not silent. when they are blowing with the wind through the trees of a neighborhood, gunshots are not silent. When they take the life of a human being, gunshots are not silent. So we cannot be silent. Thank you so much.